So this week, you, at this desk, signed an executive order saying that you were going to not comply with some of the federal government's COVID mandates. Tell folks what that actually means, just a guy swinging a hammer today.
Yeah, I think the big thing is I think the misunderstanding of this is, one, we had to figure out what could we do, and you had to know what those regulations were. If they were going to go down the OSHA rule, well, what is that rule going to look like? So to even be able to file a lawsuit, to work with the Attorney General, we had to get some of that information. I think we finally know a little bit what's in there. I think we know supposedly they're going to drop that here in the next couple of days. If they do, I think there's a tremendous amount of pushback, so I don't know if they were or not. But I think the main thing is we're trying to say is, look, the federal government does not have the right under the Constitution to do any sorts of mandates on the state levels to state citizens. We don't believe they have the right to do that healthcare side of it, to be able to do that. It's never been done before. And then when you try to go OSHA, there's nobody in this country that doesn't understand that that's a far reach of how you're going to try to implement something. And I think as soon as that comes out, whether it's us, whether it's Florida, whether it's Texas, whether it's Iowa, you just name them. There's going to be half the states of the United States are going to file lawsuits against this. And our biggest hope is, one, we get it in the right court. The last thing you want is on the West Coast, to lose there first. So there's a little bit of strategy to that. And then just to put a stay on it until we can have a chance to fight our battles with it.
In my gut, it looked like a lot of big companies were already pretty, well, not making folks, but they were pushing pretty hard to get vaccinated.
Right.
Looked like that was working. When the president gets involved, it looks almost political. I'm not sure that he actually helped get folks vaccinated.
He didn't hurt. He didn't help at all. Look, in the state of Missouri, people are getting vaccinated every day by the tune of about 10,000 people a day, and has been, long before there was ever a federal mandate. Now it's almost the vice versa. Now you got people digging in more that's not going to do it because you're trying to put a mandate on people. And you know how people are in Missouri. Anybody that's been around here any length of all. You ask them to do something, they're pretty good about taking a thought and saying, okay, let me think about that. But if you start trying to make somebody do this, and for the CEOs and the businesses out there, COVID-19 is going down. Delta variant's going down in this state. At a very fast pace, it's going down. Hospitalization's going down. And people are back out, crowds are happening in stadiums and all this. And it's not what everybody made it out to be. Not to say it's not serious, because it is a very serious thing. People can still die from COVID-19. But the point of it is, let people make a decision. They're making it. The vast majority of the people in this state has had a vaccine. And if you would even count the herd immunity in there, the numbers are pretty high that people have went through this process. We just got to keep working on it. But mandates is not the way to go.
I've heard some folks at in the state legislature here say they want to make companies not be able to, make their employees be vaccinated. Boy, to me, the party that supported business, that sounds a little odd coming from them. Will that happen in Missouri?
Scott, I don't know. I don't know what the legislators do. They're going to have a chance. There's been a lot of them, tit up about we want a special session, That's great to say that, but what is your outcome of a special session? What is your outcome going to be in January and February? Now, everybody's going to have a chance to come up here, and which I think is the right way to go. Because if you go back and look at the history of vaccines, let's say it's smallpox, let's say it's measles, whatever it might be in the state, it was a legislative action that created that. So everybody in the state of Missouri had a due process. They had representatives up there. They had senators. They haven't had that with COVID-19. All you've simply had is a president saying we're going to do this without going through Congress or what I would say due process for everybody.
If you have, though, the Democrats as party of more government services, the Republicans the party of business, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. If the Republicans aren't the party of business, it's going to be kind of lonely for business owners in this state, ain't it?
Well, I think so. And then I think you look at it, and I'll give an example of a couple that I know that owns a nursing home. And let me just walk through that, just to say that for a minute. Okay, you got the people that built the nursing home. It's on their land. It's their property. They built it. They've been in business. People trust them, take care of their loved ones. And then you have the employee that goes to work there, that he has to decide whether I'm working there, whether I'm not, what do I want to fall under, what regulations. And then you have the patient that's in there. So who does the Constitution protect when you look at it from that scenario? Now, it's easy to pick one of the above. It depends on whose side you want to be on. But the Constitution doesn't say who a business owner is, who an employee is, or who a patient is. They all have rights under the Constitution. So I think we got to be very careful how we move in that process as a one-person governor or a one-person president. That's why I think the legislative body needs to be engaged on this issue.